Hello, B.
Hi, Kat.
How's it hanging?
Great.
Great?
Great.
Okay. We have probably one of the more cryptic test modes.
This is true.
Up in this video today. What are we doing?
We got our Talea Touch.
Okay.
It's a very popular machine.
Yes.
Both new and refurbished for Seattle Coffee Gear.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be going into test mode.
Okay. Now, first of all, before we get into decoding the machine, why do I want to do test mode?
You want to do test mode so you can kind of freely operate the functionality of your machine.
Okay.
So, like, to see if your grinder works without actually, hitting a shot for coffee, see if your brew unit motor works, see if your pump works. You can kind of operate all those things freely in test mode.
Okay, so then how do I get into it? This guy is a little bit of a challenge.
Okay, so the first thing to know before we even turn the machine on is that when you turn on your Talea Touch, an hourglass appears.
Okay.
Now, only when your hourglass is on the screen can you do the code for test mode.
Okay.
And the best way I can explain it is in numbers. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
So basically doing like an X.
Yeah, so I'll do it with my fingers right now without hitting the screen. And then you have to do it kind of this quick, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to do that while the hourglass is there. And you know the screen is recognizing your fingers when it makes a little high-pitched beep.
Okay.
So let's do it. And you'll know immediately as well if you're in test mode because it just, the screen comes up that's talking about the software of the machine.
Okay.
So right away you'll know. So let's try it out. First time's a charm. Hourglass is not there yet.
Woohoo!
Success.
Look at you, fancy.
Okay, so this is telling us right here the software that's on this machine. And that could be, this would be useful for like a service center. Just at home, this screen right here is not going to be very useful for you.
Okay.
And then up here is how we toggle between the different sections of test mode. So we're just going to keep on going to the right here. Okay. Now we're going to see a bunch of BUs here, and that's standing for your brew unit. And in this section, we can put the brew unit in home, and we can put it in work. So, and this is just telling you, making sure that everything is working properly. So right now it's in home, because it always starts in home. So let's put it in work.
BU go work.
Exactly. Now, right when we pressed it, you saw that on switch go off because during the time it was moving from home to work, that micro switch was no longer activated.
Okay.
So we're going to see the same thing when we say brew unit go home.
Go home. You can't stay. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
I love that line.
Okay. Now, what is my BU go stop?
That's closing time, right?
Exactly.
Okay, just brew unit stop would be as if you wanted it to stop in the middle of its cycle, which is something that only a technician should be doing. I wouldn't advise doing that in your home.
Okay.
And then the other things are just like the actual door. These are all micro switches, and it's telling you if they're working or not. So if I open this up, it will probably go to off, which it did.
Okay.
Brew unit dredge drawer, if I take this out, that goes to off.
Okay.
And then the other one is just your brew unit itself. It's always making contact with the micro switch, telling the machine that it's there. We're going to take it off, and it's actually this right here is what's making contact with the micro switch.
Okay.
So we'll put all this back, and then we can
This
see.
is saying it's not present at all.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now it's like our brew unit's not there.
SOS. All right.
And this top one, this switch is different. That's actually a gear that your brew unit activates. So that's why it's saying that switch is still on.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to put this all back. We're going to go.
So that's our brew unit, brew area diagnostic. Okay.
You got it.
What's our next one?
Our next one, let's see here. Okay, so here we're actually just testing our boiler and our cup heater.
Okay.
And the way you would do this is by hitting boiler, and this will slowly but surely start warming up. And you can check the temperature on that if you would like, and you can go back to, forward to our water circuit section. And when water comes out, it should be pretty hot.
Do I need to hold it on?
No.
Do I need to hold the boiler? Because it's not changing temperature at all. Is it because it's at its max now?
It could be, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, and it started to change. So you
there we
needed
go.
to hold it on a little bit.
Well, it's going up pretty quick now.
Yeah.
And And if I hit it again, we'll stop. No, I
Maybe
think
hold it down. Oh, now it started.
I think once you hit it, it will always be doing it while you're in this section.
Okay.
If I switch sections, then it will stop heating up.
Okay.
But yeah, this is all about your cup heater and your boiler.
Got it.
Next section. Okay, we got a lot going on here. So down here you can see what you'll be controlling is your valve and your pump. And up here it's actually going to show you your revolutions for your flow meter. And it also has a bunch of micro switch things going on here. As you can see, we don't have the accessory attachment here for the milk island or the carafe or any of those, but it is telling us that the knob is there. You know, knob close sensor is on because it's off.
Okay.
There's that one.
Now it's on and the other one's off. Okay.
Yep. And then there's that one for the knob for the milk, but we don't have that attachment, so it's...
And water level sensor is saying, hey, there's water in your reservoir.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now let's hit the valve. And let's open this up and hit pump water. And now we got water coming out of our steam wand here. And as you can see there, it's showing us the pulses.
Of that flow meter?
Yep.
And so that electro valve there, when you did that, it just switched the water path from the brew unit to the wand?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's what's going on there.
Okay.
Let's see what we got in the next section here.
Now it looks like we got a little grind factor going on.
This is our whole grinder section. So, and this has the micro switch for your bean hopper lid, which we'll take off.
Meow.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the next thing to do here would be the grinder. And that's showing you the pulses of the grinder gear. It's got a magnet on it. Up top, that first one. And then your bean test. The alarm should go on now, so that's telling you that there's a ceramic burr sensor in there. And if it doesn't sense enough resistance, then it will tell you that you're out of beans, and that's what this bean test is telling you.
I see.
It's like if you hit that button, then it's like this is on because we don't have any beans in here.
Yeah.
If you did and you hit bean test, this would never go on.
Got it.
So you know everything there is working all right. And then what do we? Oh, now we get to deal with the
robot.
drip tray.
Now, first, before we get into this, can you do the robot for me?
The dance?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not outside of a club. Okay, so here we go.
From 1987.
Don't tell anyone I told you that. Okay, so there are two things to do here. First is to make sure that each side of your sensor down here is operating.
Okay.
So I should put my finger down here, and down should go on because that's what the upper one is. So there we go. It's sensing my finger, which is great.
Okay.
A lot of customers run into issues with this whole area.
Okay.
And this is a good area to figure out what's actually malfunctioning. Now I'll go underneath, and that one's on as well.
So that's registering you. Everything's good. Okay.
Okay. Now what we'll want to do is make sure that each switch. So right now, lower switch is on because it's at its lowest point. So let's go up. And once we get all the way to the top, we should see upper switch go on, which it does.
Okay.
And we know the other one worked, so it was on when we started.
And that's just raising and lowering the little robot arm.
The motorized drip tray.
Beep. Okay.
Now we'll go to the next one. This is actually a way for you to set the amount of coffee you want per dose.
Oh, okay.
And this right here is what the refurbished department sets it up as because they feel like this is the best rate in which to have that. So if I hit up, if I hit value up, they'll all go up with one another. If you want medium dose to go up, they're all going to go up with it, I believe.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and we can go to strong, but it's still going to do the same thing when we're here. Which is why I've always kind of had, if you're controlling one, you're controlling all of them. But let's go back down because 94 is the best one to have at mild dose. And when that one's at 94, they're all right.
94, 104, and 114.
And, you know, just...
So you can't do them separate from each other.
Exactly.
Okay.
But, you know, you got to be careful there because you could easily start putting your brew unit through too much work because you're overloading it with too many grounds. Especially if you like a finer grind, then you really got to be careful with this, and you should, you know, steer towards having it less coffee.
Less coffee. Okay. Cool.
Okay, next one. Okay, so this is actually, all this screen is telling you right now is what the count is on your machine with the dredge drawer. So right now, if we brewed a shot, since this is 13 out of 13, it would say empty your dredge drawer.
Okay.
No matter if you just did 2 times before that or not. This is
Okay.
like, it's telling you what the count is internally on the machine.
Okay.
So a lot of, you know, sometimes customers get a little confused because, you know, they'll empty the pucks out of their dredge drawer, and then a shot later will say empty it.
And it's because they just hit that number.
Exactly. There's no scale in there really measuring your dredge drawer or anything like that. It's just always remembering 13.
How high can you go on that for your max?
Let's see here. I don't think you can go any higher than that. Oh, and see, you're not, 13 is hard programmed in there. You can't change 13.
Oh, okay. So it's not telling us how many we've done. It's telling us how much we've sent it.
Exactly.
Set it to. Okay.
What it's currently remembering.
So you can go up to 13 if you want to make it remind you more often, then you could put it to a lower number.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Next one here. And this is testing pretty much our steam functionality within the boiler.
Okay.
If you went in to start here and you opened your steam valve, it would start steaming for you in test mode.
And then it would just say, "Hey, everything's kosher."
Yeah, you'd eventually get to a pass within the steam test, within the boiler temperature. If it didn't reach the temp it needed to get to steam, it wouldn't let you pass.
Cool. All right. Test mode on the Talea Touch.
You got it.
Very cryptic to get into, but
Yeah.
once you're in there, it's pretty
1,
self-explanatory.
2, 3, 4. You can do it.
Thanks, B.
Of course.